Hi, welcome to See You Live. My name is Walker Evans. I'm the co-founder of ColumbusUnderground.com. Joining me today is Stu Nicholson, Executive Director of All Aboard Ohio.
Yes.
Hi, Stu. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good to be here. It's been a while since you and I have had a chance to talk face to face, so it's a pleasure.
Well, I was trying to think back to when I had maybe first met you, and I'm not sure if it was around when you were working on the 3C corridor.
Yeah.
With ODOT and Jolene Molatoris.
Yeah, years ago.
Quite a while ago. I can't remember if that was the first time I met you or maybe something around that time.
I mean, I would have been with the Ohio Rail Development Commission then as their public information officer, and we were working on the old 3C plan.
Yeah, so that was the plan to connect Columbus to Dayton.
Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati.
Yes, the 3 C's and D corridor. I think there was a lot of momentum. There's a lot of excitement about that back in the day.
Mm-hmm. And then we changed governors.
Yeah, we changed governors, so it didn't happen. But now there's a lot of new momentum, and that was why I thought it'd be a great time to catch up and talk about what's happened since then, what's going on right now with kind of the Build Back Better infrastructure bill.
And it's very different right now, I think, in one major respect. 12 years ago, it was us. It was the state of Ohio going to the federal government saying, please, give us this grant so we can get passenger rail started. And we won $400 million, and unfortunately that got sent back by then Governor Kasich. But today, what's different is that this is the feds. This is Amtrak on behalf of the federal government coming to Ohio and at least 47 other states, if not Alaska and Hawaii, and saying, look, we've identified corridors in your state that we want to either expand service or create new service. And Ohio, as it happens, has both. We've got several existing Amtrak corridors, mainly in our northern part of the state and along the Ohio River, but those are due to get significant expansions of service, especially between Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Chicago, and then again across the Lakeshore and Capital Limited corridors through northern Ohio.
So with this new, the new ideas and new planning, are the studies and the work done? Back in 2010 and before, is that stuff being dusted off, or do you have to start from scratch?
They have a shelf life under the National Environmental Protection Act, NEPA for short. They have a shelf life of like 10 years or less.
Okay.
So Amtrak's pretty much got to go back to the beginning and start from square one, because things can change in 12 years.
Sure. I'm sure if they're looking at like track conditions, those can continue to degrade, like existing freight rail lines.
Well, and there's been actually along some sections of what would be the 3C corridor, the host freight railroads have actually done some improvements.
Oh, nice.
So, putting in positive train control, things like that. So, so there is some stuff that's been done that, that will impact that study portion where they have to do environmental and then project engineering and then, move into the actual project stage.
Well, apart from the 3C and kind of where, that's coming from the top down this time around, there's also been a lot of local talk and collaborative, talk about a Columbus to Chicago high-speed rail line over the past 2, 3, 4 years.
We've actually done, or I should say, I have actually done some freelance consulting, and this is a few years ago with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. So I know that plan very well. It's been, I think, even especially now that we have the infrastructure bill and the money on the table, significant money on the table. MORPC, as well as some of the other MPOs around the state, have really made this a priority. I know MORPC, conversations that I've had with them, they seriously want the Federal Railroad Administration as well as Amtrak to take a look at this corridor, from Chicago through Fort Wayne, Lima, and then kind of down through Marysville into Columbus, and then actually extending on to Pittsburgh, which would be another really nice connection with the East Coast.
And then we'd also end up with both kind of an almost north-south, east-west.
Oh yeah, add in the 3C and D, and suddenly Columbus is a major rail hub.
Right.
I mean, maybe not what it was back in the day.
Sure.
Back in the day, you had, at its height, 60 different trains a day from 6 or 7 different railroads running through Old Union Station.
Yeah. So,
this time, we're still talking probably, at least 3 trains a day to start in the 3C and D. Let's surmise that they added, another 6 trains in the other corridor between Chicago, Columbus, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You'd have 9 trains a day.
Right. Probably a mix too of like express lines. And local service.
And that was kind of our intent 12 years ago. We wanted to do a mix of express and local.
Yeah. So that if people want to get to like Marion or something along the way.
Well, at least provide the capability of having same day travel.
Yeah.
Where you can, you can hop on the train here, go to Cleveland, go to Cincinnati on business, and then come back the same day, or at least have the option of coming back.
Right.
I'm waiting for the Yankees to come in and play the Guardians up in Cleveland, and if the train was available, absolutely, I would be on that train going to Cleveland, taking in the ball game, stay overnight, come back the next morning.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, the conversations that I see that are either pro train or pro car, or however you want to frame the argument, people want to just boil down to, what does the ticket cost and how long does it take?
Yeah.
But, and I've probably told you about this story, my wife and I took a trip to DC, and we left from the station in Alliance. We didn't go all the way up to Cleveland.
Yeah.
We left from Alliance and took the overnighter. We got on at 1:30 in the morning because that was the only time to get on.
Well, 0 dark 30 is pretty much it for Amtrak in Ohio.
Yeah. But you get on, and then you wake up, the sun comes up. You're going through the mountains, through the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
And when you're driving in a car to go somewhere, like if you're driving to Florida from Ohio.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's fast food. It's rest stops.
Yeah.
It's billboards. Every once in a while you go through a major downtown, you look at it for a minute, and then you're back out into boringness.
Right.
But on the trains, you're winding along rivers, and you're going over bridges and through tunnels, and it's like the most scenic thing. You go through all these little small towns, kind of like the back way into these small towns.
Well, and the best part of it is that you're not doing this.
Oh yeah.
You're not and having to jam on the brakes and wiggle your leg because it's falling asleep or whatever.
Read a book, surf the internet.
And that's the other thing that I think a lot of critics miss is that the time spent on the train it's depending on what you're doing and why you're traveling, it's either time to relax and enjoy the scenery, or it's productive time. Where if you're traveling on business, you can flip out the laptop and get some work done. That's an important thing. This is quality time that you can spend on a train. And relatively stress-free, I might add as well.
Do you think at all that over the past 10 years or so, maybe some of the mindset change has been kind of a generational shift, because not only are there millennials that are wanting more of this sort of thing, but you've got Gen Z kind of coming in. Coming into adulthood, wanting this type of environment.
Well, and even generations that haven't been assigned a letter yet.
So they have to go back to A after Z. But there's also this wave of like technology. I'm thinking of like Ubers and Lyfts. People have gotten accustomed, of all generations, to being able to flip out a phone, call a vehicle, have it come to you, get in the vehicle, and take it somewhere. Which is really a taxi. But the convenience of the phone has shifted a lot of people to think, I can get somewhere by transit without owning the vehicle myself.
Well, and that shows you what kind of a passage of time we've had in the 12 years from when we did the original 3C and D plan till now. Back then,
there was no Uber.
No Uber, no Lyft. I mean, that was at least another 4 or 5 years away from starting.
But that mindset, I feel like sometimes, and feel free to agree or disagree what you think about this. When you start talking about any kind of public transit, you get the sort of entrenched mindset of like, you'll pry my vehicle out of my cold dead hands. Like, I own this thing, this is mine, and that's American. And I don't want to rent a ride on a train. I don't want to subscribe to a service instead of own a physical object.
Yeah.
It feels like that's changing in a positive way.
I think it is, but you know what? I have no problem with people that feel, I want to own a car, I want to have a car. Then that's fine.
Right.
But you should still have the option of leaving that car at home, or only taking it as far as the train station or the transit stop.
Well, between the 3C discussions, the Columbus to Chicago discussions, Hyperloop discussions, the more localized Linkus discussions. We're talking every day about bike lane installations and, scooters out on the streets.
I live 2 blocks from Indianola Avenue where all the controversy is over the bike lanes.
You're thinking about it every day.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot, going on, a lot to be excited about. Is there anything in particular that you think, if somebody wants to jump in and be involved in something or be a train advocate, is there something, more pressing than the others to be involved in?
I think it's all important.
Yeah.
2 of our board members are members of All Aboard Ohio, are also board members of Clevelanders for Public Transit. We've had very close ties with Josh Lapp at Transit Columbus.
Yeah.
I guess my advice would be get involved. Find out who's
any of those levels.
Exactly. Yeah. Find out who's engaged, who's involved. There are several really good bicycle organizations. There are advocates out there for walkable neighborhoods. There's advocates out there for public transit and passenger rail. Identify who they are and join.
Cool.
allaboardohio.org is an easy find on the internet.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, we just rebranded and put up a new website.
Nice. We'll link to that in the video description, as well as many other Transit Columbus and other organizations.
And
to make it easy to
but
find.
it's important.
Yeah.
Number one, you can put your dollars towards something. And there are no wealthy advocacy organizations, as you might imagine.
Right.
But you can put your dollars, where your beliefs are.
Yeah.
And really push to get things done. Plus, you can get involved. Some people just are happy with getting involved by just writing a check or joining something online.
Yeah.
Which is great. But if you really want to make things happen, get involved.
Well, these are all great insights, and I feel like it's something we could probably sit here and talk for 2 or 3 more hours about. Easily, yeah. But thanks for stopping by, Stu. Really appreciate it.
I'm sorry you had to really drag all of this out of me.
Yeah. You're the hardest person to interview on this topic. But again, we'll link to All Aboard Ohio and some of those other groups that Stu mentioned in the comments below. So thanks so much.
All right. You bet.